May Joy Blossom Ventures. Drink fresh, live good. Amazing Jewelry. GCB Bank PLC, your bank for life. JoyNews, your most credible and reliable TV news channel. We have the third contest between the Zenith University College Faculty of Law and the UPSA Faculty of Law. The UPSA is represented by Abigail Abrefi Entry and
Denise Lomoki Dame.
Denise Lomoki Dame. And the Zenith University is represented by
Kwame Bafo Yerenchi,
Mohamed Hamis Uzer.
Thank you all so very much. The Law Challenge.
Legally speaking.
And you're welcome to the very first round. And the rules have changed slightly, so pay attention. Every team will be asked 5 questions. Those are your major questions. Then you will be given 30 seconds to answer a question. There will be only 2 attempts for a major question. If you answer correctly, you will be awarded 3 marks. Note that. If you're unable to answer correctly, then the question will be passed on to your opponent as a bonus for 1 mark. The team that is attempting the bonus has 15 seconds to attempt an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, here we begin the very first round of this third contest. This is a general round. I begin with the UPSA. Land comprises both corporeal and incorporeal aspects. What is the corporeal aspect of land? What's your understanding of this question?
The corporeal aspects of land are the tangible or the visible parts of land, which includes the crops, vegetation, and other structures on the land.
And that is correct. A round of applause for Abrefi. So, Zenith University College. What comprises the incorporeal aspects of land?
The incorporeal aspect of land consists of interest rights that are contained in the land.
That is correct. Now that I have started you both on a note that looks easy or sounds easy, shall we get to test? Shall we get to test your competence even further? There are therefore 2 minimum conditions necessary and sufficient for the existence of a legal system. That is a quotation. So please listen carefully. On the one hand, these rules of behavior, which are valid according to the system's ultimate criteria of validity, must be generally obeyed. And on the other hand, its rules of recognition specifying the criteria of legal validity, change and adjudicating must also be specifying the criteria of validity and its rules of change, which must be effectively accepted as common public standards of official behavior by its officials. Who am I quoting?
L.A. Hart.
That is correct. H.L.A. Hart. Professor Adolphus Hart. Zenith College. The common law forms part of the laws of Ghana, correct? according to Article 11.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What constitutes the common law of Ghana as provided in Clause 2 of Article 11 of the Constitution 1992?
The common law consists of the laws, the common law proper, laws of equity, and the customary laws, as well as the interpretation that the court gives to the law. So if I should, it constitutes a common law, the principles of equity, and then the common law, and the customary law principles.
I'll give you that, but I'm looking to give you 9 out of, I said 9, 4 out of the 5 marks because of the lack of precision. A round of applause for him. The rules of law, generally known as the common law, and I need the specificity. The rules generally known as the doctrine of equity, and the rules of customary law, including those determined by the Superior Court of Judicature. But generally, you captured them. I'll give you 2 out of 3, the 3 full marks. Now to the UPSA. Where an acceptance, talking about contracts, is communicated by letter sent through the post, the acceptance is complete and takes effect at the time when the letter of acceptance, properly addressed, is posted. Now, state 2 principles that have been developed by the courts to govern the implementation of that famous postal rule.
Okay, so this postal rule would not apply to revocation of the offer or a counter offer. For those offers, they would have to be received by the offeror. And again, the postal rule does not apply to fax, facsimile, telex, and all other instantaneous form of communication.
That is sufficient. Thank you very much. Denise. Now to you, Zenith University College. According to the decision in Musa versus Limo Wilana, 1966, Ghana Law Report 338, to succeed in an action for malicious prosecution. Juggle your thoughts. The plaintiff must prove 5 elements. Help me with 3 of them.
Okay, 1 is the prosecution must have initiated by the defendant. 2, it was done with malice. And 3, there was damage suffered by the defendant.
It was done maliciously, and 3, that there was damage suffered by the defendant. That is sufficient. Thank you very much, Zenith University College. The defendant must have initiated a criminal prosecution as against the plaintiff. The criminal proceedings terminated in the plaintiff's favor. There was no probable and reasonable cause for the prosecution. The defendant acted maliciously, and the plaintiff suffered damage as a result of the prosecution. Now to you, UPSA. You have been familiar with the terms conversion and detenue. Abrefi or Denise, how will you differentiate the 2? What are the differences? Yes, Abrefi.
Detenue for conversion. Conversion is the intentional interference with the dealing or the immediate possession of the goods of another person. However, detenue is the wrongful dealing with the wrongful detention of the property or goods of another person.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for her. Now to the Zenith University College. Aisha Huang has become a very popular name in Ghana, correct? She's being prosecuted for various offenses. Supposing the court finds her guilty in the end, give me two of the factors that the court will consider before sentencing her as an accused person.
Do you know? If you don't know, leave it. It's okay. So one, she had recruited people to do illegal mining. And two, she operates mining without license.
And whilst you have been bailed out, I am looking for the two factors, conditions that a judge will consider before sentencing an accused person. I'll pass your question on for a bonus mark. Yes, UPSA.
So the first would be premeditation of the intent.
And then the second will be prevalence of the crime in a particular locality.
And that is correct. So the first thing you mentioned could have been properly situated to mean the intrinsic seriousness of the offense. There is also the premeditation with which the criminal plan was executed, the prevalence of the crime within the locality in particular, and the country in general. A judge will take these into consideration. And in Aisha Wan's case, it will be about what Galamsey is doing to our dear country, our water bodies, and our vegetation. The degree of revulsion felt by law-abiding citizens of the society will also be considered by the judge. The sudden increase in the incidence of the particular crime and mitigating circumstances such as extreme youth, first offender, and good character. Judges do take all these into consideration before passing a sentence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to your very final question in this first round, that is the general round. You are both definitely familiar with what is known as a cause or matter affecting chieftaincy, correct? Thank you very much. Section 76 of the Chieftaincy Act 2004 provides that cause or matter affecting chieftaincy means a cause, matter, question, or dispute relating to a number of things. Please give me two.
Into the nomination, selection, and installment of a king or a chief, and then the installments or the installment of a chief.
Thank you very much. Yes, Zenith, give me two.
Relating to the selection of a chief and the recovery of stool property.
Recovery of stool property.
Yes.
Recovery of stool property.
Yeah.
From an accused or an intruder.
Recovery of stool property from an accused or an intruder. I am unable to give you the full marks for it. I'll give you 2 out of 3.
Wow.
Recovery or delivery of stolen property must be connected, and it must be in connection with nomination, election, selection, installation, deposition, as it were, or adjudication of a chief. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And that will be the end of this round. At the end of the first round in the third contest between Zenith University College Faculty of Law and the UPSA Faculty of Law, here are the marks. Zenith University College, 10 marks, as against UPSA, 16 marks. A round of applause for the contestants. The law challenge. Now you're welcome back to the third contest in the law challenge, and this is the second round. This second round is known as the buzzer round. We will still be dealing with criminal law, contract torts, Ghana legal systems. And here, there will be 6 questions. If you press the buzzer before you first, you will be given the chance to answer the question in 30 seconds. And the buzzer for Zenith College sounds like... Thank you. And UPSA. Thank you. If you answer correctly, you will be awarded 3 marks. And for every incorrect answer, therein is the danger. 1 mark will be deducted. There will be only 1 attempt to a question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. My first preamble. Quote, whereby letters patent under the Great Seal of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, bearing the date the 24th day of July 1874.
The Supreme Court Ordinance of 1876.
And that is correct. Yes, I heard their bell ring first. I heard you, but yours was later. Now, let me complete the statement. Her Majesty's settlement on the Gold Coast and of Lagos were constituted and erected into one colony under the title of the Gold Coast Colony. And whereas it is expedient to make the provision for the administration of justice in the said colony, who am I? And UPSA have just done that. The Supreme Court Ordinance of 1876. Now to the next quotation for your identification. I'm a very powerful body. I'm a very powerful body. How can I be charged? Ladies and gentlemen, and that is charge. Even the 1992 Constitution empowers me to investigate complaints of violations of fundamental rights and freedoms, injustice, corruption, abuse of power, and unfair treatment of any person by a public officer in the exercise of his official duties. I have investigated countless complaints concerning practices and actions by persons, private enterprises, and other institutions where those complaints allege violations of fundamental rights and freedoms under the 1992 Constitution. Who am I? I am the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SRAJ, and my prediction is that these ladies have been following from the very beginning of the law challenge. Now to the next question. I was a chief investigator. It didn't ring. For the creation of a school and the school's mandates.
Geoffrey Bing.
Geoffrey Bing. That is correct. And the school's mandate is to make arrangements for the legal education in Ghana. I was also an English barrister, and until 1961, I was Ghana's Attorney General. Geoffrey Bing. Gentlemen and ladies, here is your next riddle, so to speak. I am. Bing, bing. Something said by the way of a chance remark.
Obiter dicta.
Thank you very much, and that is obiter dicta. I have only a very persuasive effect, especially when I am made by the highest court in the hierarchy. But a lower court is not bound to follow me. I am obiter dicta. I heard your bell, but that was after DS had gone on. Right. We are now proceeding to the fifth question. I postulated that laws proper or properly so called are commands.
Austin.
That is correct, John Austin. Laws which are not commands are laws improper or improperly so called. This time your fingers were faster than the ladies. I am a theory of law.
The pure science theory or the pure theory of law.
And that is correct. I was used in the famous case of Salah versus Attorney General, 1970, by the Attorney General to justify the dismissal of the plaintiff. I am the pure theory of law. On that note, a round of applause for our contestants. Not forgetting that these ladies are getting me into trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the second round, which is the buzzer round between the UPSA and Zenith University College faculties of law, UPSA made 15 marks, whilst the Zenith University College made 3 marks. A round of applause for them. The law challenge. Now to the third round, which is the profound quotes round. Each team will be given 3 major quotations and will be asked to identify the personality the quote is attributed to, and or to identify which case in which the quotation is found, or both. If you answer correctly, here you bag a lot of marks, 10 points. If your answer is partially correct, you get 5 points. There will be only 2 attempts to each question. There is no negative scoring as in the buzzer round. And this is a non-transferable round. At the end of the identification of the profound quotation, there will also be the opportunity for you to identify one personality within the legal fraternity. We want to know if you do more than bury your heads in your books. Now, if you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, this time I'll start from you. Who gave this advice to judges, and in which case? Zenith University College. The function of a court is to interpret legislation and give effect to it, even if the terms appear unpalatable. The functions of a court is to interpret legislation and give effect to it, even if the terms appear unpalatable. Who was giving this advice, and in which case?
Kluche JSC.
Kluge?
Kluche JSC.
That's incorrect. And in which case would that have been?
Justice Dr. Dateba.
That is also incorrect. Thank you very much for your attempts. Remember, you have 2 attempts, and you have exhausted that. Unfortunately, it's not transferable. That is, even if you knew the answer. Who were you thinking?
Miss Marshall.
Chief Justice Marshall in the USA? In which matter? Our own Chief Justice, former Georgina Theodora Wood, as she then was, in the Republic versus High Court Fast Track Division, Accra, ex parte, Shraj. Interested party, Dr. Richard Anani. To you, the UPSA, which judge is associated with this statement, and in which case? I am of the view that every person has unimpeded access to the law courts of this country, and this basic and fundamental right can only be taken away by express provision of a decree or act of parliament. If that act does not run counter to any provision of the Constitution that the country may have.
Lavender Weaver versus Bank of Ghana.
Archer J.
Yeah, that's correct. So who is talking?
Archer JSC.
No, and you have exhausted your 2 attempts. So you get a partial mark for answering Weavers Limited versus Bank of Ghana. This was Edusei J speaking in that case. Now, to you, Zenith University College. Listen to me carefully and identify the judge who is speaking and the case in which this judge is speaking. It seems to me that 31st December, public holiday, unless unconstitutional, which I have said it is not, can only be deleted from the list of public holidays by any government which desires this as a policy decision to take necessary legislative action to delete this date from the list provided in PNDCL 220. Who is speaking and in which case?
The 31st December case. The 31st December case, and
Justice Bamfo Addo.
That is correct for Justice Bamford Addo, but certainly the case I'm expecting is not
NPP
what you are
versus-
mentioning.
MP versus the president.
You had
Rollins.
already exhausted your 2 opportunities. Did you have any ideas?
Yeah, we still had MPP versus Attorney General.
That is correct.
That's why I said
Just 31st.
the 31st December case.
I need you with precision to state what the case is. You will not find that citation. Will you find that citation? Of course. In giving the preamble, I mentioned the 31st December.
Wow.
But what is the case called? New Patriotic Party versus Attorney General. Now to the UPSA. Who is speaking and in which case? For one of the basic principles of any civilized system of justice is that the person is entitled to a fair trial, free from prejudice. No system of justice can be effective unless a fair trial to both sides is ensured. There are therefore many rules of law and practice intended to support this principle. Among them are the rules of natural justice and the law of contempt. Who is speaking and in which case?
British Airways versus the Attorney General.
That is incorrect.
Ghana Bar Association versus the Attorney General.
And that is also incorrect. And you've exhausted your 2 attempts. Who were you thinking and which case came to mind? That is Aqua JSC in Re Efijiasi Stool Affairs number 2, Republic versus Numa Powell, President of the National House of Chiefs and others, 1998, 1999. Now to you, Zenith University College. Tell us who made this argument and in which case. It is against the spirit of the Constitution for Parliament to grant to the minister the authority which Parliament itself had received by delegation from the Constitution. This is against the sound policy implied in the maxim, delegatus non protest delegari. Who is speaking and in which case?
The case is J.H. Mensah versus AG.
That's incorrect.
Twice.
You still have 1 opportunity until you are bailed out.
Salova is Attorney General.
That's also incorrect. Did you have an idea?
No.
Not at all? Anyone in the audience? Yes. That is correct. Please, a round of applause for him, even though he earns no marks for it. His Lord Justice Datewa in Sari versus Attorney General in the dual citizenship matter. And here will be the very final quotation to you, UPSA. Save as otherwise restricted by its regulations, a company after its registration has all the power of a natural person of full capacity to pursue its authorized business. Who is speaking? In which case?
Sam versus Attorney General number 2.
That's incorrect.
Solomon versus Solomon, Lord Watson.
That is also incorrect, and you have exhausted your opportunity, and you'll be surprised to know that it's a case you have read over and again. Any ideas?
Mrs. Georgina Wood.
Georgina Wood, in which case? I'm sorry, not Georgina Wood either. Now let's get to identify these personalities within the legal fraternity. Let's see if you have been doing more than sitting in your classroom and in your rooms reading your books. Let's see if you have been visiting the courts and trying to familiarize with the people who administer justice or who are connected with the legal fraternity in Ghana. UPSA, identify the image on your screen.
Her Ladyship Agnes Doji.
Absolutely correct. A round of applause for them. Now it is your turn. Zenith University College. Whose image is this?
Justice Oneniga.
Justice Honyanuga. It looks like a lady.
No bad. Mariama Usu.
I'm sorry, not Mariama Owusu. Did you have any ideas?
Yeah.
You know her?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Justice Avril.
Avril Lovelace
Lovelace
Johnson. Thank you very much. Of the Supreme Court of Ghana. And of course, of very recent. And on that note, we bring to a close the third round of this contest between the UPSA and the Zenith University College. A round of applause for our contestants. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the third round of the contest between Zenith University College and the UPSA faculties of law, here are the scores. Zenith University College managed 5 points as against UPSA's 15 points. A round of applause for our contestants. Now to my very favorite round, and this is the fourth round, rapid fire round. We will still talk constitutional law, immovable property, contract, criminal law, among others. Each team will be asked to nominate one member to be their captain. The nominated member will be asked to answer 10 questions, and doing so within 120 seconds. There are 3 marks for each correct answer. The nominated member may decide to skip any question, but any incorrect answer shall not be withdrawn. Where a team has more time, they will have the opportunity to answer the questions they skipped or pass on. So if we are ready, now I can begin with you. Zenith University College, who is your captain? Right. The Lord Chancellor, who was usually a cleric and referred to as the keeper of the king's conscience, disregarded the formalities and technicalities of the common law.
True.
And decided each case on its merit in the light of his conscience and fair hearing. True or false?
True.
That is true. Article 1442 of the 1992 Constitution provides that justices of the Supreme Court, apart from the Chief Justice, shall be appointed by the President, acting on the advice of the Judicial Council and with approval of Parliament. True or false?
True.
That is false. Generally, a mere inquiry or request for further information which does not introduce new terms constitute a rejection of the original offer. Listen carefully. Generally, a mere inquiry or request for further information which does not introduce new terms constitute a rejection of the original offer. True or false?
Does not constitute. So it's false.
That is false. A minor trader can be sued for the non-delivery of goods he has contracted to sell or for the payment of the price of goods delivered to him for purposes of the trade. True or false?
Please go over again.
A minor trader can be sued for the non-delivery of goods he has contracted to sell or for the payment of the price of goods delivered to him.
It's false.
It's false. The contra proferentum rule simply means that a written document would be construed strictly against the person relying on it. True or false?
True.
That is true. The operation of a chop bar in a wooden structure in a residential area is a nuisance. True or false?
It's true.
That is true. Customary law is applicable law in slander suits at all times. True or false?
Come again.
Customary law is applicable law in slander suits at all times. True or false?
It's false.
That's false. Trespass to land is actionable on the case. True or false?
It's false.
That is false. Second-degree felonies are considered less in gravity than first-degree felonies in Ghana. They attract a term of imprisonment not exceeding 10 years. However, offenses involve dishonesty, though second-degree felonies attract sentences of up to 25 years. True or false?
True.
True. In criminal law, a child under 12 is considered a doli capax. True or false?
It's a doli incapaz. It's false.
False. A round of applause for him. And I'm excited because his team member almost misled him. Did you read that? Right. Now to you, the UPSA Law Faculty. And I will caution you to not be complacent because you have backed a certain number of marks. Who is your captain? Denise? Right. In 1835, the British established the first Supreme Court within their forts and settlements on the Gold Coast, and the court sat mainly at Cape Coast. Is this true or false?
False.
That is false. The Supreme Court ordinance, which you have encountered already, 1876, created a dual system of laws, namely the received English law, that is English statutes of general application and the common law, and 2, the customary law and legislation. Is this true or false?
True.
That is true. Where two persons make identical offers to each other simultaneously, cross offers, neither party knowing of the other's offer at the time of making his own, the two offers can constitute a contract. True or false?
False.
That is false. Generally, a mere inquiry or request for further information which does not introduce new terms constitute a rejection of the original offer. True or false?
False.
False. A defamatory words spoken in the heat of passion are not actionable. True or false?
True.
That is true. A wrongful or false arrest amounts to false imprisonment. True or false?
True.
That is true. In causation, the victim's refusal to undergo medical treatment or her lack of proper care of herself subsequent to the injury does not break the chain of causation unless the victim's conduct amounts to a reckless and wanton disregard for her own health or condition. True or false?
True.
That is true. Citizenship is man's basic right, for it is nothing less than the right to have rights. This statement was made by Heffron Benjamin in Shalaby versus Attorney General. True or false?
True.
That is true. The National Council of Chiefs was first introduced by Sir Gordon Gagisbeck. True or false?
False.
That is true. Section 10 of the Limitation Act provides that a person shall not bring an action to recover a land after the expiration of 10 years from the date on which the right of action
False.
accrued. That is false. So how many years would it be?
12.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for them. Adverse possession has suffered in this country. All sorts of interpretations have been given to it. Please, and actually, this brings us to the end of this competition between the Zenith University College and the UPSA, and they deserve a resounding applause. At the end of the fourth round in this contest between the UPSA and the Zenith University College, faculties of law, the UPSA and the Zenith University College made equal marks. A round of applause for them. 27 each. The cumulative total from the first, second, third to this very fourth round brings us to 45 points for the Zenith University College and 73 points for the UPSA Law Faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, in the premise, I have the honor to present to you the winners of this contest. The ladies from the UPSA, Abigail Abrefientri and Denise Lomoki Dame. A round of applause for them. Let us also acknowledge the gentlemen for the bold fights, Mohammed Hamis and Kwame Bafo Yerenchi. Thank you very much.
This Kwame Bafo Yerenchi represented Zenith University. At the end of the day, contest has been great. We feel to be part of this experience, and we hope to come back next year and represent the school in a great mood. We enjoy it, and good luck, everybody.